head coach of the Holt Rams girls basketball team. He has led them to 6 straight district titles. It'll be tougher this year, but they got a good revenge win over Okemos last night, 55-34. That's Coach Doug Harkema. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on short notice, and congratulations on the win.
Well, thanks so much for having me on, and yeah, it was a good win. It was a great night on senior night for us last night.
Yeah, you had only 3 seniors on your team, but 2 of them, they play for you. Emma Sluter and Khadijah Anthony. They kind of give you the inside presence there. I've noticed in some of the recaps, Khadijah Anthony, she's had some good games for you.
Yeah, she's really come on. She played a little bit last year, and actually was her leading rebounder last year. Most people didn't really notice that, but we did, and she's really improved her offensive game, and that's a big help to us. I mean, we got 20 points and like 28 rebounds out of our center position between her and Riley Stiles yesterday, so that was huge.
Coach, how about the defensive effort last night? Give up just 34 points and only 6 team fouls. Talk about that defensive effort.
We were a little short-handed. We got a couple of kids sick, so we only had 8 available to us last night. So we actually talked about being aggressive, but keeping our hands off of people, really moving our feet before the game, and that was going to be key to us. Foul trouble would have made it difficult with the 2 guards that they have and what kind of pressure they put on us. So we did talk about that, and I just, after the first quarter, I probably one of the best defensive efforts of the season for us.
Well, Coach, I've been watching games for years now, high school and college, both boys and girls, and 6 fouls in 6 personal fouls in one game. That's the lowest. That's the least amount of fouls I've ever seen in a game. The previous low was 8 for a Lansing Community College game that I watched almost 20 years ago. That's impressive. I give you a lot of credit. It just shows you can play terrific defense without fouling, and your girls showed that last night.
Well, thank you. And we've really worked hard on our defense this entire year. And one of the stats that we really look at is free throws. And you guys have been talking about how bad free throw shooting is, but our goal is to make more free throws than the other team shoots. So that not only is that an aggressiveness to the basket type of thing offensively, but it's really a defensive stat as well, because you got to keep the other team off the line, and that's what we're trying to do.
So when you say that, that means you want your team to go, for example, like 14 of 18 from the free throw line and hold them to like 8 out of 12 or something like that.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I got you.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And we have done that quite a bit. So it's an old Bobby Knight stat from back in the day. We used to go down to his coach's clinics, and he always said that was one of their big goals. So we've sort of adopted that, and it's really a defensive stat more than anything. So.
Wow, you went to one of Bobby Knight's coaching clinics? I didn't know that. What was that like?
Oh, it was just phenomenal. I mean, at the start of the men's season, every year, he would have a coach's clinic. So there'd be like 5,000 high school coaches at IU in the stands, and he would be mic'd for the first 3 days of college practice. It was so entertaining, and you learned so much. It was, he was just an awesome technician of the game, and hilarious as well. I mean, can you imagine the guy mic'd in front of 5,000 coaches?
I was about to say you probably have some interesting stories from things you saw from him.
I don't think we can share those on. We'll stay away from that.
Yeah, you might want to. Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
Coach, a player that I've been impressed with this year is Cameron Reed, only a sophomore. Talk about the season she's having.
Cam is a very special player. Just one of the hardest working kids that I've been around. But, she puts in so much time year-round. She's just going to get better and better and better because it's her passion. This sport is her passion, and it's really fun to watch her grow up in the game, and she's going to be awesome in the next 2 years. She's really good right now. Our whole team, though, I got to tell you, it's a very special year for me and these kids because we are so cohesive. It's like a family in our locker room. Everyone can't wait for practice every day. It's a lot of fun to be around.
And Coach, Steve asked you about Cameron Reed, but another player that's probably going to be a 4-year player for you next year, just a junior, Tara Learman. She's been a starter, or she's been a player for you, since her freshman year. She's hit some big shots. That backcourt combination of Learman and Cameron Reed is just terrific. I always say, in high school and college, if you don't have guards, you aren't going to win. You've got two excellent guards right there, and you've won a lot of games this year.
Yes, we're 16-2, and having good guards, I agree totally. Good guards in high school is what drives it, and because turnovers are lower, and the ball's in their hands pretty much the whole game. So Tara's just a great leader as well, and she really understands the game. That whole Learman family, they're just winners. They hate to lose, and she's been a blast to coach, and it's amazing we get both of them back. But last night, Riley Stiles was incredible. Really coming out game for her, 10 points and 19 rebounds last night, and just really emotionally and physically into the game. And it was just a really fun night last night.
Coach, 6 straight district titles for you guys. What have been the cornerstones of your program, and how have you been able to maintain that level of consistency and success?
Well, I think we've built an expectation in our program that we want to win championships, and and the kids sort of rise to that. And there's been some crazy games in that stretch too to help us win districts. Tara hit a 3 against Jackson at the buzzer 2 years ago, her freshman year, to send it into overtime when we thought we were beat. And there's been a couple other games that have been just tight, and we found a way to win them. And and that's special, and that's fun. And I guess the whole thing for us is that we want to be there at the end. We want to compete for those types of things, and it's fun. It's fun to be around. March Madness is great, and we sort of embrace that.
And Coach, in your district this year, you're down at the Richland Gull Lake district with Gull Lake, the Battle Creek schools, Mason, Jackson, and yes, the Grand Ledge Comets, who have not lost in 2014, and they beat your girls convincingly at your place earlier in the season. You play them next Friday night. We figured Grand Ledge was going to be really good this year. I mean, you've seen them play, and talk about them and a possible matchup in the district.
Well, I mean, Grand Ledge Holt, that's all you got to say. It's a pretty good rivalry. We like our matchup with them. Their size is what might possibly give everyone a little bit of trouble. But if you focus on the size and that, then you still got the Orlock girls that you got to deal with on the outside. So we tried one way. We're going to try a different way on Friday night, and then more than likely we're going to get them again a week from Wednesday down in Gull Lake.
Oh, you could play them in the semis?
I'm sorry?
You could play them in the semifinals then, the district semis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we play Mason to open up
All right.
Mason.
Well, that's no lock win.
No, it's not. They're a very good team, and they're young and on their way up, too, so that'll be a good game as well. And then Jackson plays Grand Ledge on Monday night, and then the 2 winners of those games will play down in Gull Lake. So
okay.
we'll look forward to that. I mean, we should really only have one win and one loss, I should say, in my opinion. That game at Okemos sort of killed us. But we'd probably be ranked like 4th in the state if we didn't lose that game, because we were ranked 6th at the time.
Right.
And our only loss would have been the Grand Ledge and whatever. So we're flying under the radar a little bit, but I think Grand Ledge knows they're in for a tough one. And it'll just be a great high school basketball game.
He's the 20th year head coach for Holt girls basketball. He's Doug Harkema. He's taken his team to 6 straight district titles. And Coach Harkema, congratulations on a big win last night. Good luck the rest of the way, and thanks for joining us in Prep Basketball Weekly.
Yeah, thanks, guys, for all you do for high school sports.
Thank you very much, Coach. We appreciate it. One of the better coaches, kind of flies under the radar with East Lansing being as great as they've been over the years, and now with Grand Ledge and Hazlitt, and to an extent DeWitt getting all the publicity.
Yeah.
There's Holt, and you look at their overall record, 16-2.
Unbelievable.
That's pretty good.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, the quality of the coaches and the quality of the girls' basketball just overall in this area causes some teams, some players, some coaches to fly under the radar. And I think Holt and, Coach Doug Harkema may be that this year and maybe over the past few years, we could say.
Yeah, definitely. Coming up at the bottom of the hour.